So I'm just going to add probably 3/4 of a pound, maybe a little bit more, of water or salt to this 5-gallon bucket. There's probably 3.5 gallons in here. I find the more salt you have in your solution, the better the deplating goes, or the faster. Later on, like after I would say 1 pound of salt. I guess we're putting most of this bucket in. 1 pound of salt is normally good for, at least I find, 10 pounds of silver plate, 12 pounds of silver plate. And then the reaction just starts to happen slower, it seems. I mean, it still works. You probably get 20 pounds out of a 1 pound thing of salt, but I don't have as much to do today, so hopefully I finish the rest of the silver plate. All right, I'm gonna add the salt water. We got probably, I'm gonna add at least 3/4 of a gallon, or I think that's probably good for that one. I'm not going to add as much to this one, but still need a little bit of water for my rinse. And I'm going to start the process all over again. So on the first piece, it's kind of oxidized because I had it in the salt water before I left last time. Oh no, just broke my electrode, so I will have to restrip that a little bit. So I am just turned on the first battery charger, and I don't know if you guys can see the reaction starting. So that definitely looks like it's working pretty good. Hopefully in about 8 minutes we'll be able to clean that piece. And then I just have to turn on the battery charger on this one. And did that start? Let's see. Did I turn on the wrong one? Nope. There it goes. See it just starting? I wonder why it took so long to... But they both seem to be going pretty good. What's nice about this is now I can go work on other things. Like the last time I was working on melting the silver, I decided I needed something with a little bit more heat, so I ordered a little kiln slash furnace to melt the final experiment, and that should be here tomorrow. And I'm gonna keep on working on doing some scrap while I let those deplate. So the first one I think's about done. I'm gonna unplug it and basically just do the same thing I did last video and then repeat. Just rinse them off and then wash the dishes over at the other booth. I'd say that's probably the only thing that's the least fun about this, is how much scrubbing you have to do. I mean, it's nice to see the silver in the box, and it's fun having the little nugget after you're done, but all the rub and scrub is basically the big pain in the butt. let's see. Where can I put you guys so you can see this? You can just see how the silver just comes right off though. And we'll add that to the next pile. Or I mean to this, you can just see the flakes. So this is a brass plate, it's not a copper one. But I think right now brass is only, I think I get $1.35 a pound from my scrapyard. The one nice thing was at the smelter, they would pay for copper the going rate of whatever copper's trading on like the open market. So I'd get like $2.50 or $2.65, something like that, a pound for the copper at the smelter. Plus I would get full price on the silver. So it'll be very interesting how much silver we find out or end up with. All right. So I just switched out battery chargers. I guess I've been at it for about 2 hours. These are my final 2 plates of the 25-pound experiment. I'm gonna let everything settle overnight, and basically we'll pan out this bucket and these 2 buckets. You can see all the sediment on the bottom. There is just a ton of it. Not that there's a lot of silver in there, but I think it will. I'm gonna pour this all into a 2-liter bottle of like cut off soda so we can see how the sediment lays. Hopefully the silver will be closer to the bottom, but we'll find out. So I don't know if you guys can see, but it's settled really nicely. I let it sit for a day, and it's probably, I think there's at least an ounce or 2 in here. This is, you know, out of 25 pounds of silver plate, it would be nice if I don't know, I would get $50 if I just sold the silver plate to George, and I probably, if I brought it to the smelter, I get almost 60. But it'd be interesting how much silver is left in this bucket. So I got rid of most of the water. You can see how much plate there is on the bottom. I poured it all into these 2 tubs, the water, and now what I'll do is I'll pour it into this big bucket, and then there should still be a little bit of silver flakes. You could always run it through the coffee strainer, but if you just do like a nice steady pour, the silver does tend to settle to the bottom. And I'll pour the stuff from this bucket. I'll try it one more time to see if I missed anything else. Actually, in the light, you can see the silver. There's not very much in the bottom of this. Probably only less than 1/4 gram. Most of it's just copper. So I'm gonna just pour the rest of this water out. So I emptied all the water out of the You can see all this brown chocolate water. It's got copper, and but I'm going to rinse it with the spray bottle. Looks like we could have a bit of silver in here. I honestly don't know. I'm just going to pour the water out of this, and then we'll skim all the silver out of it. Make that silver settle down back down to the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing, but so in there, that's majority silver in that mud right there. So what I'll do is I'll run that water all the way over to this other corner. Leave that nice big pile of silver up there. All right, now I have all I have to do is strain this. It'll take probably 4 or 5 times of running it through different buckets, and then whatever's left I put back into this bucket and do the process over again, probably 5 or 6 times. So I'll show you how it works out. So I'm still spraying out the brown water. You can see how much silver there is. It's looking like there's a few ounces in here. Definitely will be interesting how much silver I get. I'm waiting right now for the forge to show up so we can take this slurry here, and it's like a mud almost, but it's all silver, and probably with the copper. That's my guess is what the brown water is. The one nice thing is, since all it is copper and salt water, you can put it down a regular drain and you won't have any ill effects. It's not like we have there's a ton of lead or anything in this. But definitely a lot of brown water in this. What I'll do is I'll pour the water into here, and then I'll put everything into I'll sort it one more time, but I'll put everything into a pan to dry, and hopefully it and then of course I'll filter this what I just poured 4 or 5 times and put the diluted solution back in here. But sure is looking like a lot of silver. I'm washing everything to one corner of this tub, and the liquid I'll put to another corner. That way all the big solids that we have, I can then put into a pan to cook off the water. So I'm washing all the silver into one corner, and then I'll have I'll put the fluid to the other and pour it into that tub that I was just using. There is a lot of silver in here. I would think I have easily 4 or 5 I would hope 4 or 5 ounces. Let's see it. Oops. To get a pound, I need in 25. I need. Sorry, I'm trying to do math and pour water at the same time. I think I need almost 4 ounces to get a pound out of 100 pounds. So, a pound of silver. And this is looking like a good amount of silver in here. I would say there's easy, I don't know, 4 or 5 ounces of silver. But right now it's wet. Once it dries up, it will be a little different. And that bag only melted into that little button. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, I'm gonna keep on working on this. So, I got the bucket mostly cleaned out. I put everything into here, and there's still a little bit of brown water, not a lot. And you can see how it's starting to turn like a silver color, the dust that's left. There's still some traces of copper and other stuff. That's why you don't get pure silver doing it this method. You have to use the nitric acid, and I'm not willing to risk my lungs. So, and all the silver jewelry that you play with, it's not pure. It always tends to be 925 anyway. But so pour off the brown water. This is probably a 2-gallon, 3-gallon stainless steel bowl. You can see, just if you go real slow, you can see how the silver's just sitting there. I'll let this dry overnight, and it will be ready to go into to the new crucible that we get. I honestly don't know. So I have the silver cooking in the sun here. I made like a little reflector oven. I don't have a little hot plate to cook off the water, so you could do that, but as long as you keep it stirred. It's definitely cooking in the sun though right now. It's a nice sunny day. And I did order a forge on eBay to turn this into like a silver brick. My guess is we have 4 ounces, 5 ounces, because my button was only made with maybe that little bit right there. And there's definitely a lot more than what I made the button with in the last video. So it'll be interesting once we weigh this out to see how much silver there actually is. Just giving it a nice little stir. All right. So you can see how dry it is now. Moves really easy in the bowl. I did bring a scale to see how much it actually ends up being. I would, I don't know. Even if it is 5+ ounces, it's a lot of work. I mean, it was nice I was able to get things done while it was depleting, but I feel. All right, so I got it set at, let's see if I can get to 0 grams. And out of the 25 pounds, we ended up with, let's see, 45, 70, 95, ooh, over 100. It's looking like 185 grams. So just under 6 troy ounces. That's pretty good, actually. Way more than I thought for 25 pounds of material. And you have to remember, I still can scrap all the copper and get pretty close to the $2 a pound that I would have got if I sold the silver plate at the market. I guess once the forge comes in, I will make an ingot with that and some of the other stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had fun making it. See everybody later. Sorry that I hid this in the middle. See everybody later. Peace.